Thank you very much.
You're
welcome.
All right, now I'm just going to jump into a real quick review. I got to check out the movie that is pretty much #1 in the box office right now and blowing up left and right. I'm talking, of course, about Wonder Woman.
Wonder
Woman. Wonder Woman. Well, the world's waiting for you.
No more.
No support. What's going
no,
on?
Man, we ain't got time. We ain't got time for that, man. We ain't got time.
Not the whole song.
Fine.
Yeah, we just know though.
You know, we ain't got time.
Hey,
That's
look,
it.
Linda Carter is a badass singer. Okay? If anyone's played Fallout 4, she's she's the one that sings all those bonus songs you can get halfway through the game.
Small little trivia. Okay, what?
That's all her. We're talking about Wonder Woman, the 2017 film starring Gal Gadot.
Woo!
And
I thought it was Godot.
Misconception. First, people thought it was Godot. Then it was corrected, quote unquote, as Godot by I think it was Jimmy Kimmel. She herself actually pronounced it correctly. It's Godot.
It's her name.
Split the difference.
Yeah,
she actually pronounced it correctly. It's her name.
No, I mean she pronounced it for the people, so you get it from the source. It's
Gotcha.
Godot, and it's one of those things I can do the glottal stop. Say Godot, I guess, if you can't. There's no problem. Thank you. All right, but no, we got to see the story of Wonder Woman, which I'm very happy to have gotten to see this movie because first and foremost, I just gotta let y'all know it was good.
It was so.
It was good, and it was so. That's the thing. I was like, this is actually the only DC movie that I actually want to see. And I was actually paid off because it's worth seeing because DC sucks.
They do. They really do.
Their movies suck.
They haven't had a worthwhile movie.
And we can get into an argument about that later. We ain't had enough time. But this is good.
Their movies are garbage.
Their movies are
just hot.
Every single one of their movies is garbage.
For the record, that is all trash. What you just said. Stop hating.
Garbage. More garbage.
Keep the levels within.
And as Adam said, there's no time to go into it. We'll hash this out.
We'll get there.
This conversation,
okay.
really.
All right, well, just going into the synopsis. Before she was Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, she was Diana, Prince of the Amazons, trained to be an unconquerable warrior. Raised on a sheltered island paradise, Diana meets American pilot played by Chris Pine. His name is Steve Trevor, who tells her about a massive conflict that's raging in the outside world. Convinced that she can stop the threat, Diana leaves her home for the first time, fighting alongside men in a war to end all wars. She finally discovers her full powers and true destiny. One of the things I really admire them for doing and respect that they didn't go the obvious route is this is set in World War I.
That's what I liked about it most, I think.
Yeah. Most movies are set in World War II. World War I's almost never explored.
Fair enough.
It was awesome they touched on this.
And before World War II, there hadn't been a war like that before. Yeah, World War II was going to happen less than 10 years later, but the truth of the matter is no one had seen a war that vast on that scale ever.
Yeah.
That's why it was called the Great War. The only reason why we call World War II because there was one previous to it.
It's like World War is people. World War, this time it's personal.
Yeah.
No, you make a very good point. And the only conflict there is the original Wonder Woman stories, including the one this is loosely based on, was set in World War II. And making this in World War I think they were able to get away from the obvious equations people were going to make to Captain America.
That, and you know the other thing I just it hit me, World War I, and I actually said something to you about it while we were watching the movie, that World War I was one of the last wars that we fought on horseback. A lot of innovation in the world of weaponry happened during World War I.
Like
mustard gas.
Yeah, mustard gas was invented during
I've
World
been in this
War
trench
I.
for 3 weeks. I got Trump.
Flight squadrons.
Before that, yes, they were using Trump butt.
Yeah, flight squadrons was the first war that we had planes. That's the first time air forces were put together. So
the Air Force before then was, dragons went extinct. They just couldn't hang.
Yes. But
just flinging guys off catapults.
It's funny that she would come in during this time that was almost a revolution in war happened. And people had bigger, badder weapons than they ever had before. And so then this weapon of goodness just shows up during all of that.
They touched on that a little bit in the movie. They didn't show a lot of her fighting the modern weaponry. I do like the scenes where it's like she gets in that zone where it's like, what are you all cowering in this trench for? Let the battle's over there, let's go. And she gets up and they're firing bullets at her. They can't, nothing's touching her thing. She's deflecting with the bracelets. And then it gets gangster. She walks up to a tank, boom! Get this piece of crap out my way. And I'm like, that's Wonder Woman. Yes!
Yeah.
And the story was really well written. I like how they painted her as the naive character who has been out of civilization, but it wasn't like one of those, and I guess for lack of a better term, because I do hate this term, male power fantasy type thing, where it's like, because she's naive, everything's like, oh no, Earthman, I don't understand your world. A kiss, what's that? Show me, please.
There wasn't a Lulu
She was a
moment.
fish out of water, but
none of those.
She was knowledgeable about at least the basics of human society.
Yeah,
even human society has changed since the Amazons have been cut off from it, but she did understand certain basics. She understood.
They had that moment there's a scene in the movie where they do broach that, and she's like, now we go to sleep now before the battle. He's like, you want me to sleep next to you? Yes, sleep with me here, and we go to the battle. It's like, what? But no, that means something a little different. See, when a man and a woman, and she's like, no, right? She's like, no, I know what sex is. I know what penises are.
She's like,
she's
no,
like,
what I like about,
I'm aware.
Remember the Fifth Element? He tries to kiss her, and he just puts the gun to her head, and she puts the gun to his head. And he's like, oh yeah, you're right.
The best part of that scene is when she told him that men were not necessary for the pleasure of sex, but only procreation.
Yeah, that part kind of stung. I know the background and the details, and it makes perfect sense, but still, hearing it out loud, come on, that's cold. That's a low blow.
That was great.
Well, also, I do have to point out, besides those obvious,
but the writing, those little moments in the dialogue and the way they related to each other were good. Even though she didn't necessarily understand everything about the world, she related to people. Yes. And they were always... She treated them like her peers, even though we all kind of know they weren't her peers. Yeah. Of her all-inspiring power and whatnot.
I like the way they painted Wonder Woman as a warrior. Her character she wanted to get into the fight. She had her own battle plan and she wanted to enact it. When she saw the British government going a more pacifist route, she was like, no, I've got my own agenda, let's handle business. And she had a set enemy that she went for, and I really appreciate that, because the character of Wonder Woman is supposed to be a warrior, not someone who's confused, not someone who kowtows to anybody else's plan.
She had definite purpose.
Yes, and then came those special effects during the fights where I'm like, this is some revolutionary stuff.
Yeah, I did. Even though I was aware of the special effect, every time it happened, it looked good, and I was happy with the way the fight choreography worked together with it. Right.
That lasso was straight out of Castlevania too.
Yeah,
it was just.
I love the lasso,
which can be like a very corny. Like, she's gonna rope him like the Lone Ranger. No, she was like, bam, whip, bam, stab, bam, cut, bam, flip into this tank, bam, mortar. It was gangster. It was dope.
Did they play the whip song?
What's up?
Was it da 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 da?
No.
Okay, no, they didn't play.
They didn't act. No, I can't. No, they didn't use the Wonder Woman theme song. Actually,
no, they didn't.
At all.
I
didn't hear it at least.
The new theme, they didn't do any homages. It wasn't even like a Linda Carter cameo or anything. Which
they were like hints of other stuff that were related to Wonder Woman's history, but nothing huge.
Yeah, what it comes down to is this was a really good movie. Really enjoyable, really fun time. And I think, save for The Dark Knight and then Batman Begins, this is the top third.
I still say that movie
best DC movie, I think, ever. And I'm counting the Christopher Reeve movies. This was just a really well done movie with
Patty
a lot
Jenkins'
of attention paid.
Even better than Richard Pryor?
Yes.
She was inspired by the original Christopher Reeves movies. And you know what? That was a good way to go. Because if Superman is not going to be our symbol of hope in this universe, then goddamn it, Wonder Woman will be. Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
we'll face facts. Superman recently has been a job sucker, so I'm kind of glad.
I do not like those movies, man.
You know what? I fought for a long time. I still fight for Man of Steel as the best example of Superman in action, but that does not make them good movies, which is a damn shame because I would like to see a good Superman. I've always thought it was a tool, and I would like to see something prove me wrong. Or at least get like Superboy with the badass leather jacket.
Superboy.
I used to like Superboy. What do you hate it?
I still like Superboy.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, no,
I misunderstood that. Ugh.
I'm looking. See, now I'm kind of looking forward to the Nightwing movie because I'm sorry, ain't nothing better than Dick Grayson.
No, we got Grayson on YouTube. If they do that story, it'll be awesome. If not, well, anyways, I do want to call it a couple of performances because Ewan Bremer, we haven't seen him as far as I remember since I think it was Snatch. Yeah, he was the dude that Bullet Tooth pulled out of the car. And yeah, exactly. This is how long ago we're talking about.
I'm like
old movie, good movie. Snatch with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, vaguely. Like I haven't seen that movie in years.
All right, well, this was before Jason Statham, long before the Transporter. All right, well,
yeah,
he was the
sniper
guy.
Wait, which one are you talking about?
The sniper
dude. Oh,
yeah.
he was in Snatch.
Yeah, no shit. Remember him?
Okay, I vaguely remember him.
All right, well, also Danny Houston was in this sucker. A man who I've never seen play anything but the ultimate villain. And I mean ever. I've seen this dude in like 100 movies. Never once has he played a likable guy.
So why would he change?
Right?
I don't know, but
Powers Booth didn't change.
There's no
Rest in peace, bro. Rest in peace.
Everybody has a niche. It's okay. That's his niche.
I guess. The only negative thing I have to say, which I'm not alone in this, but it's apparently still an unpopular opinion. Gal Gadot, I liked her performance as Wonder Woman.
Like you say that fast. I like you.
Yeah. You just want to say it now, don't you?
Yeah. He's trying.
Gal Gadot, what do you have problems pronouncing? I liked her performance as Wonder Woman. I don't think she had the look, and I was really bothered by this until
I agree.
A little bit more muscle, but I understand that she went from a much like willowy figure to gaining 25.
No, she was straight Kate Moss.
Yeah, she gained almost 20 pounds of muscle, and that.
Yeah.
In a fairly small amount of time.
Is this like a Logan moment where the body type at first makes us all kind of like, that's not quite right, but the performance is so solid that we learn to overlook it?
Yes, definitely, because the original story this was based on, she would have been in ballet slippers and it would have been like a bondage fetish movie.
Well, I mean, the original writer of Wonder Woman was
into bondage, which is
totally
why we have the lasso of truth.
So.
I like.
That's also the thing where her cuffs, if they came off, then her ultimate power was released, and if you bound them, it took away her powers.
Yep.
That's all.
No, we all know.
Yeah,
they changed
I didn't know that. I like that.
I just learned something new.
In this,
Whatever
also
does
the
it,
lasso of truth scene, I really liked.
Oh,
that could have been
here.
At last, you tell me everything. The first one with Chris Pine.
Okay.
It's like the first one.
I went to bed,
but I like no. It's like he fought it, and it's just like I can't. Like I'm a spy. Oh god damn.
Yeah.
Fine.
And can we just say Chris Pine was such a delight in this movie?
I liked him.
I loved him as
this is my first
Trevor.
Chris Pine performance since the first 2009 Star Trek as Captain Kirk.
Like, my God, like, of all the men for Wonder Woman to meet to give her hope in humanity, he proved to be exactly that man.
Mm-hmm. Dude, this was definitely above and beyond. I highly recommend anybody
so
check
much.
it
Go
out.
see this movie.
Yes, please.
If you see no other DC movie, see this movie.
No, if you see no other DC
movie. Matter of fact, don't see
lucky.
any other DC movie. Just see this movie.
A lot of hate.
Stay home.
It's all of Wonder Woman.
Don't see anything.
Check it out.
Just see Wonder Woman, though.
All right, I want to turn it over to my main man, JM, the Thriller Priest, who has the lowdown on WWE.
Extreme Rules.
Extreme!
So let's be down.